Hello learners, now we are going to study about biodiversity. Bio, it means life, diversity, variation, so difference among the living organisms. So these we are going to study now. Biodiversity. The term biodiversity was first coined by Walter G. Rosen in 1986. The biosphere comprises of a complex collection of innumerable organisms known as biodiversity, which constitute the vital life support for survival of human race. Biological diversity, abbreviated as biodiversity. It represents the sum total of various life forms such as unicellular fungi, protozoa, bacteria and multicellular organisms such as plants, fishes and mammals at various biological levels including gens, habitats and ecosystem. What is biodiversity? What does the term indicates? Bio means life. Here in diversity it means variety. So there will be the variation in living organism. Biodiversity or biological diversity is the occurrence of different types of ecosystem, where the different species of organism and the variant like biotype, ecotype and genes adapted to different climate and environment of different regions, it including their interaction and process. So there will be the important diversity at the level of biological organization we are going to discuss brief. The term biodiversity was introduced by American biologist Edward Wilson. The term biodiversity. Biodiversity refers to the variety of life forms and habitat found in defined area. It represents the totality of genes, species and ecosystem of a given region. Levels of biodiversity. The biological diversity includes 3 levels which are interrelated, the hierarchical levels. They are genetic, species and ecological. First we are going to discuss about genetic diversity. Genetic diversity is a single species might show high diversity at genetic level over its distributional range. It shows variation in terms of concentration and potency of chemical respirin in India as more than 50,000 genetically different strains of rice and 1,000 varieties of mango. So this will be one of the example. The variation may be in alleles, total genes or chromosomal structure. So what is genetic diversity? It is the variation existing in a species. Number of genes in the following. Mycoplasma 450 to 700. Escherichia coli 4000. Drosophila melanogaster 13,000. Oryza sativa 32,000 to 50,000. Homo sapien 35,000 to 45,000. All which represent the number of genes which is present in the organism. Next we move on to study species diversity. So the diversity at the specific species level is called species diversity. Example, Western Ghats have more amphibian species diversity than Eastern Ghats. So this will be one of the best example for species diversity. The species diversity depends upon the number and richness of the species of a region. So species richness, the number of species per unit area, we call that as species richness. Ecological diversity. What is ecological diversity? Ecological diversity is desert, rainforest, mangrove, coral reef, wetland, estuaries and alpine meadow are the type of ecological diversity. So the diversity at the ecosystem level is called ecological diversity. So here in this picture you can study about the ecological diversity. Examples are rainforest, mangrove, estuary, coral reef. Next we are going to study about global species diversity. According to IUCN report, the total number of plant and animal species is more than 1.5 million. Robert May estimated that the global species diversity is about 7 million. More than 70% of all the species recorded are animals and plants, including algae, fungi, bryophyte, gymnosperm, angiosperm, which comprises about 22% of the total. Biodiversity and its conservation are vital environmental issues of international concern as more and more people around the world, which begins to realize the critical importance of biodiversity for survival and well-being on this planet. So, according to IUCN, the total number of plant and animal species are described. Among animals, insects are making up more than 70% of the total. Out of every 10 animals of this planet, 7 are insect. The number of fungi species in the world is more than combined total species of the fishes, amphibian, reptile and mammals. India has only 2.4% of world land area, but shares 8.1% of the global species diversity. India is one of the 12 mega diversity countries of the world. In this picture, you can study about representing the global biodiversity, which is proportional number of species of major taxa of plants, invertebrate and vertebrate. So, pause the video and study the global biodiversity which were given in this diagram. So, you can here study here invertebrate, vertebrate and plantae. So, this pie chart will give you the clear identification about which represent the global biodiversity. Biodiversity is our life. If the biodiversity got lost at this rate, then in near future, the survival of human being will be threatened. So, it is our moral duty to conserve biodiversity as well as environment, our property. So, we need to conserve it. So, in this session, we studied about what is biodiversity and types of biodiversity.